Good evening. From today onwards, I am back again with current affairs. Very regularly, we are going to deal with current affairs, and these current affairs will be useful for every examination that is conducted in India, including civil services, preliminary, as well as the main examination. We are going to deal with various topics in depth so that every topic will be useful for your examination for both the prelims and main examination. For today, we'll be looking into five different topics. They are all on the screen. We'll be discussing repo rate. Next, we'll be discussing regarding Jimex. I tell you what is that. Third one is the National Deep Tech Startup Policy. Very important one. And I'm very sure for the coming 10 years, in various examinations regarding point number 3, there will be questions. Right? Now, if you look at the fourth one, this is related to tiger census. And beside that, you have NTCA. What is this? National Tiger Conservation Authority. We are going to learn about this. And the last one today we are going to discuss regarding COP30, Conference of Parties. So these are the various topics we are going to discuss. If you look at the first one, that is related to Indian economy. Second one, that is related to international relations. Third one is related to technology, science and technology. Fourth and fifth are related to environment. Meaning, every day we are going to discuss topics from various subjects so that different subjects will be covered for you at a time and you will be empowered. And kindly remember, please follow me very carefully and regularly from today onwards. And I know you are all very serious aspirants for various competitive examinations. So, in order to fulfill your dream, follow me very carefully, and these classes will be available on our regular YouTube channel, as you know. Now, let's go ahead and discuss the first one. First one is the repo rate. So, what exactly is the meaning of this repo rate? Before going into that one, let me tell you a few points here. For example, you have taken housing loan, you have taken car loan, you have taken education loan. Suddenly, sometimes you will see you are paying EMIs. You are paying EMIs, and suddenly you will see so there is a spike in that EMI. And sometimes you will see so there is a very low dip in this EMI. So, what exactly is happening here? So here, this is the place where the repo rate is coming into the picture, meaning the impact and effect of the repo rate will be seen directly in our lives. That is the reason why, my dear friends, whatever is happening in economy, whatever is happening in polity, governance, or various other subjects, kindly relate to ourselves. So let's relate to ourselves so that understanding these topics will become much easier. Right? Now look at this. So when you look at this repo rate, who decides this repo rate first of all? We all know that repo rate was earlier decided by RBI, Reserve Bank of India. But for quite a few years, this responsibility has been entrusted to MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, where you have 6 members in that. 3 members are from RBI and 3 members are nominated by the government. Clear? So these are the basic points. So whenever you look at this repo rate, RBI's decision will decide everything. Meaning, Monetary Policy Committee decision will decide everything related to your loans, your EMI, your inflation, your bank interest, and even India's economic stability. All these are decided by one tool, that is a repo rate. Clear? Very important. So generally what happens, the general people who are not preparing for any competitive examination, they will read the newspaper. So what is the repo rate? they will look at the figures and they're happy with that. Clear? But being very serious aspirants of the civil services examination or any other competitive examination in India, don't stop at the numbers, because the numbers may not be a question tomorrow in the examination. Those days have gone. Those days have gone. Just a percentage may not be asked in the examination. Who decides repo rate? This common, these questions may not be asked in the examination. That's the reason why we need to move beyond that. That is the reason why we need to get into the depth of the subject. Look at this. Do remember this: to clear prelims and followed by mains. You have to clear preliminary examination, you have to clear main examination, you have to attend interview successfully. Even in the interview also they may ask you what is this the repo rate, who decides it, and what is the impact of this. So then you should be able to structure it very nicely and present in the examination and also present in the interview hall. Clear? So that's the reason why you have to be very careful and cautious about this. Look at this. You are the RBI governor for one day. Imagine. There's nothing wrong in imagining. So you are the Prime Minister of India for a day. Just imagine, no problem. Because we are discussing about repo rate today, I am asking you to imagine yourself that you are RBI governor for one day. Here, what is happening? Inflation is misbehaving. Inflation, there's a price rise. Prices are rising. Banks are borrowing like a mad. Right? So obviously prices are increasing. Banks are trying to borrow more. At that time, what will happen? And 144 crore plus Indians are depending on your one decision. Inflation is increasing like anything. 140 plus crore people, 140 crore plus people are awaiting your decision. What do you do now? Whether you will take the repo rate up or take the repo rate down or remain the same. I'll give you 5 seconds. Please think and give the answer below. That's it. Clear? Now the point is that when the inflation is there, prices are rising, banks are looking for more money, then obviously at that particular time, RBI Monetary Policy Committee, or being the RBI governor, you will increase the repo rate. You will increase repo rate, meaning repo rate will be increased when the inflation is there. In order to contain the inflation, repo rate will be increased, discouraging the banks to get more loans from the RBI. Very, 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 very important one. Am I clear? So follow this one very, very carefully. Next, look at this. So when you look at the repo rate, this is nothing but Monetary Policy Committee or RBI's remote control for inflation. So where is RBI? Where is this inflation? Inflation is occurring in the market. Everybody is getting affected with the inflation. And RBI remotely, it will increase the repo rate to contain inflation. Very, very, very important, my dear friends. Look at this. Your home loan EMI, that is decided by, this repo rate. Your car loan is decided by repo rate. Your brother's education loan is decided by repo rate. Your mutual fund returns again is decided by repo rate. That is the reason why from now, whenever, wherever you read repo rate, please be more careful with that. Am I clear? Now, look at this. So why did RBI keep the repo rate unchanged this time? This time, right? Next time that may be changed. It may increase, it may decrease, or it may keep it unchanged. This time it is unchanged because inflation is cooling down slowly. but not enough to relax. No problem, we can control it. That is the reason why RBI did not increase the repo rate. Kindly see here, what is this percentage of repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR? These are all the basic things that you can get from Google search also. No problem, you just Google it and you will get the answer. Am I clear? But why, how, all these things you need to understand very carefully. This is the place where exactly you need to develop analysis, thorough analysis, and this analysis is going to give you the desired service. Am I clear? That's the reason why when lakhs of people are writing the examination, why only some people are getting selected? Of course, that all depends on the number of vacancies. But the people, the aspirants who are getting selected are those people who worked very sincerely with lots of dedication, and they developed the analytical skills. They just did not depend on the numbers. They just did not depend on the numbers, but they went into the depth. That is the analysis. That is what you have to develop for your success. Clear? And how to develop this? Kindly follow our classes very regularly, and you are going to develop this. So, and crude prices are unstable because India needs a steady growth without overheating the economy. This is what we call a balancing act in monetary policy. So, by looking at various things, the monetary policy committee will decide about all these things, my dear friends. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important one. Next, for the preliminary purpose, for yourself, for you, for preliminary purpose, what is repo rate? Repo rate is nothing but RBI lends to the bank. Banks are taking loan from RBI, that is the repo rate. If banks lend loan to RBI, that is called reverse repo, reverse repo rate. Clear? Now we are sticking to a repo rate only. So this is reverse repo, 1 point. Banks park money with RBI. Clear? And kindly remember, tomorrow there may be a question in the examination: who decides the repo rate, reverse repo rate, all these things? Please remember, this is decided by Monetary Policy Committee, where you have 6 members. 3 members are from RBI, 3 members are from government. And this RBI, this Monetary Policy Committee, will meet 6 times every year. 6 times every year. Is that okay? And if you look at the inflation target, current inflation target is the 4% plus or minus 2%. So this is the, if you can keep the inflation like this, that is manageable. Remember this. Write down, if you are all serious aspirants for any competitive examinations. Clear? Please take the notes very clearly. Now, so when it comes to mains, what is that subject we are dealing with now? Repo rate. Repo rate is a part of what? Economy, Indian economy. So if you look at the civil service main examination, you have general studies 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Indian economy is a part of GS 3, general studies paper 3. Clear? So what question may be asked in the examination and what you are supposed to write? Look at this. How does RBI's monetary policy balance inflation and growth? Very, 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 very important. So within the stipulated time, within the stipulated words, you must write a relevant answer. Plus, one very important thing I would like to share with you, my dear friends. For every question, you have to write better answer, and that answer should contain certain words. Words means not writing any words here. Some specific words must be written in that particular answer. Then only that answer will have the life. then only you will get the marks. Look at this. For example, if this is the question, you must mention about inflation and inflation control, credit flow, growth management, external environment, impact on households, impact on industries, and these are the words that you must mention in this particular answer. This is how the toppers score higher marks than others. That is the reason why it is not just writing something in the answer, or it's not just becoming blank. If you get blank, the marks will also be blank. But some people will write, is it relevant? Most of the times, those answers are getting irrelevant. That is the reason why they don't score. They cannot score, in fact. That is the reason why what to write in the examination, in the answer, that is also very, very important. In fact, that is very important, let me tell you. Am I clear? So we'll be practicing all these. So this is one such example. Look at this. So whenever RBI moves the repo rate, it is not just an economic decision. RBI is increasing repo or decreasing the repo. Don't just see that as an economic decision. It is a signal to the entire nation. And serious aspirants, you have to understand these signals in order to win the exam. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important one. So you have to read the subject like this. Now the question, who decides the repo rate? Type the answer. Type the answer in the comment box. Right? You must be knowing the answer. We have discussed. So these type of questions, these things should be on your fingertips. Right? You don't have to worry so much about this. Clear? Right? That should be like a flow. Whenever you read about a repo rate, automatically that should be there in your mind that a repo rate is decided by MPC. Is that okay? So you need not refer any textbook, you need not search the Google to know the answer for these type of questions. If it is a question, what is the answer? Please write in the comment box. So this is the answer. MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, right? And when it comes to economy, my dear friends, I'm just telling you something. Listen to me carefully. Number one, if you want economy topics to be learnt very clearly in a very detailed manner, please follow our classes very regularly. Is that okay? And like our videos, like our channel, right? Write the comments and share with your friends, right? You are most welcome for this. And from every time we'll be meeting at 8 o'clock, and by 8 o'clock you will have the session. The session begins at 8 o'clock, right? And I don't want you to miss even a single class. If you are missing a single class, of course you can watch the video later, that's a different thing. But I want you to be there sharp 8 o'clock, so that you will be potentially effectively utilizing that particular day. Is that okay? And your exam success depends on this. Now, let's go to topic number 2. This is international relations and this is Jimex 2025. What is Jimex? J stands for Japan, I stands for India, M stands for Maritime, EX stands for exercise. So Jimex stands for Japan, India, Maritime Exercise. Very, 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 very important one. So what exactly is this? In the international relations, you have friends and you have enemies. India got enemies also. But there are so many friends for India at the international level. Now you have to strengthen these relations with those nations where you have the common interest. You have to protect yourself. There is no doubt about that. At the same time, you have to extend your support to other nations also in protecting that nation, so that that nation will also come to your rescue when you are in need. This is how the international relations begin. That is the reason why these international relations are not just restricted to a conference hall. No, that happens outside, that happens under the sky, over the waters. This is one such example, right? And when it comes to Jimex 2025, this is a maritime exercise where India and Japan together combinedly performed these drills. Why? If there is a problem for you or for me, let's fight it together. Let's know each other. Let's participate in this collectively, so that I will be knowing your strength and you will know my strength, and together we can fight our enemy if there is a requirement tomorrow. That is the meaning of this exercise. Am I clear? And when it comes to Jimex, not the first time, it's happening for quite some time, and the latest one is 2025, and it may be a question in any forthcoming examination. Look at this. When India and Japan shakes hand in the ocean, the whole Indo-Pacific trembles. Pacific Ocean is one of the very, very, very important, rather most important ocean in the world. Lots of business, lots of trade, commerce will happen through this particular, ocean. That is the reason why having control over this particular ocean is very, very, very important. Is that okay? Now look at this. So this is not just a naval exercise, it's a geopolitics, power, strategy, and your GS2 mains answer all in one stroke. Very, 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 very important. So meaning, from this area you will get the questions in the preliminary examination. If you consolidate yourself here in these areas, this will you will be in a position to write a better answer for your general studies paper 2 in the main examination. Important one. Let's see. Right? Two warships are cutting through the water. One belongs to India and other belongs to, Japan. Radars are locked, helicopters roar above. Communication drill begin, and this is the Jimex. Is that okay? Look at this. So when it comes to this is India and Japan practicing how to fight together even before a war starts. Very, 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 very important one. So this is a drill, this is a practice, right? So only to check ourselves, so that we are practicing before the actual war begins. It does not mean that the war begins tomorrow, but you should be ready. You should be ready with this. So that is the basic idea, right? So why this Jimex is important? Because Indo-Pacific is the new chessboard of the world. Every time this is there in the news. America is interested, China is interested, Russia is interested. Most of the countries in the world are interested on this particular ocean. Whoever controls these waters, Pacific waters, they would control trade, energy routes, security, and influence the future wars. That is the reason why most of the countries are looking towards this, Pacific oceans, and they wanted to have control over this because of these reasons. India teaming up with Japan, sending a very loud message. We protect this region together. India is there. India is going with Japan, and we are performing our drills, and we want the world to know that we are there to protect this particular region. India is also very much interested in this area. Hence, whenever you come across with India-Japan relations, you must mention about the Jimex 2025. Am I clear? Look at this. So what do India and Japan do in Jimex? Anti-submarine drills, anti-defense maneuvers, communication, interoperability, tactical warfare, helicopter operations, right? So they are performing all these things here. Why this matters? Again, it's important because in real war, few seconds will decide life and death. If both names understands each other's styles, they can fight like one team instantly. If there is a sudden war, then what will happen? Both the countries will come together, fight together, right? Because they have exercised already, they know each other's powers so that they can combinedly attack the enemy. That is the basic idea. Look at this. So this is Jimex. We are discussing about 2025 Jimex. But when did it start? It started in the year 2012. Next. So where exactly it happened? Look at this. Happens in Indo-Pacific Japan's Navy. Jimex 2025, the latest one, was conducted between October 16th and 18th, 2025. Very, very, very recently. These dates you have to remember for the examination, especially for the preliminary examination. Right? And where this particular Jimex took place? On the coast of Kyushu. So here I would like to say something. When you are dealing with current affairs, don't read this only as current affairs. So whenever you come across with some coast like Kyushu, you try to understand what exactly is this. We are discussing about India and Japan, Jimex. So when you come across with this Kyushu, if you try to find out, this is an island. Japan has got 4 very important islands. So as a part of a world geography, it may be a question in the examination, preliminary examination. What are the 4 significant islands of, Japan? This is one question. Other question may be, are 4 islands are given to you and you will be asked to arrange them in north to south or south to north. Look at the map, world map, look at Japan, look at its shape, look at the islands, and try to find out that particular sequence. So by reading the newspaper, by following our classes, by watching our classes, you will understand many, many, many things. Right? Look at this. So what are the 4 islands of Japan? Look at this one. Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. You got Kyushu here? So this is the place where exactly the Jimex took place. Yes or no? So remember, this is from north to south, right? At the extreme north, you have Hokkaido, and extreme south, you have Kyushu, and in between, you have Honshu and Shikoku. Very, 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 very important. Clear? At the same time, you should also know about the related exercises. What is the Malabar? What is this Simbex? What is Varuna? You should be very, 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 very clear with this. That is the reason why reading comprehensively will give you the clarity, and that clarity will give you the marks, and good marks will give you good service. Clear? All are interlinked. Look at this. So when it comes to main examination, what does Jimex mean for India? Very, 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 very important one. You have to write these points in the examination. Very, very, very important one. If you know India and you know the location of Japan, where is Japan located to India? Towards east. Do you know about this Act East policy? Yes, launched in the year 2014, but earlier you had another, this policy called Look East policy. So during 1990s it started. How many days we are looking there? Let's act. That is the reason why the name has been changed, and it is named as Act East policy and it was started in the year 2014. Clear? So whenever you mention about India-Japan relations, you have to mention this. That's a compulsion. Is that okay? Stronger squad. What is squad? US, Japan, India, and Australia. Japan and India are already there, right? We are working together, and along with USA and Australia, you are working in quad, right? And relationship counter to China's expansion. This is what exactly, you know, Jimex for securing trade routes, maritime security, rule based order in the Indo Pacific, right? And if you write these points in, your GS2 answer, your answer will be unbeatable. Your answer will be a standout answer. Without writing this, if you write something else, good marks may not be allocated. Very, 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 very important. Clear? Similarly, like, if you look at, Jimex, you can think, Pacific Ocean as a dancing floor. Is that okay? And when it comes to, the global geopolitics is the music. Is that okay? Very, very important. That is the reason why whenever any two countries are acting together, that will shake the geopolitics. Very, 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 very important one. Right? Look at this. So when it comes to Jimex, this is considered to be, it's a diplomacy with the power. Very, very, very important one. That is the reason why in international relations, friendships are not built in conferences. Friendships are built in on the decks of the ships, under the open sky, with the engines roaring. Is that okay? So we went for the maritime exercise, right? That is like a war-like situation. But the friendship bond is getting strengthened with other nations. That is the reason why whenever such exercises are taking place, wherever they are taking place, you must pay attention to that. Clear? Now the question is, Jimex is a naval exercise between India and, you know the answer. Type the answer in the comment box. Right? Fine. So this is the answer. And one important thing I would like to tell you, if you understand Jimex, you understand half of the India's Indo-Pacific strategy. Right? Are we in any way connected to Pacific Ocean? Are we surrounded by Pacific Ocean? No. But still we are interested. So this is the geopolitics. This is the international relations. You have to look in this particular angle, my dear friends. Am I clear? Follow me every day like this. I'll be giving you so much of information and I'll make the things very easy for you too. Is that okay? So hence this is not a military drill. This is India's shaping the future of the world's most important ocean. India is contributing for that. Very, 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 very important one. So that is the reason why India is interested in this. Clear? Next, the third topic related to technology. Science and technology is the National Deep Tech Startup Policy. See, basically, whenever you look at, startups are, you are starting something new. Maybe an app, maybe something bigger than that. But when it comes to National Deep Tech Startup Policy, so many things are coming into the picture. I told you in the beginning of the class that from this area, you will be getting questions for the coming 10 years or more than that. This is very much important. World is surging beyond with the technology. Today you have AI tools, artificial intelligence tools, quantum computing system. So many things are coming up. But where is India? Where are we? Where we want to be, first of all. And India wants to advance. If you want to advance, you have to invest. and invest effectively and thoroughly so that you will be in a position to lead the world tomorrow. That is the reason why this national deep tech startup policy is really very important. Look at the points. The future of India is, what is the future of India? AI, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, semiconductors, space, defense, biotechnology. So this is the future of India. Everything is related to technology, right? All of them are being reshaped by one new policy, and that new policy is the National Deep Tech Startup Policy. You're not just discussing something to happen today or tomorrow, but continuously for many years this is going to come up. That is the reason why for coming minimum 10 years you are going to get the questions on this. Is that okay? Look at this. If you are a serious aspirant, why I'm saying serious aspirant means some people will watch the news for getting the awareness. And being the serious aspirants like you have to think in the form of application also. Not just knowing, but in the application form you should know. Then your analytical skills will be strengthened and you will gain the confidence to write better answers in the main examination. Look at this. For example, if you look at this one, what do Chart GPT, everybody knows what is Chart GPT. ISRO's Chandrayaan navigation, we know. Cancer detecting biotech and missile guidance system. So many things are there, but what these systems have in common? What is the common in all these things? They all come from deep tech, meaning deep technology. Very, 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 very important one. So let me tell you what is this deep technology. There may be a startup example. There may be a startup which is this manufacturing bicycles, right? Uh, you have the bicycles, you have the gear system. You just sit on that one, ride it over. Clear? But when I say for creating bicycles, for manufacturing bicycles, you don't require any, this deep technology. So with a startup, you can just start with the, bicycles, say for example. But if you want to build missiles, can it be done with a simple technology? No. You require deep technology. This is the place. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important one. If you look at all these, but how our Chandrayaan, this is moving so long, right? So how this Mangalyaan moved so long distance. So this is all deep technology, right? How the Chat GPT is giving answers, how the Gemini is giving answers like this within fraction of seconds. Clear? So what was not being done by Google, why is it being done by Gemini now? Right? Gemini. So they are all playing very, very crucial role. Am I clear? And India wants to be there in the race and India wants to surge beyond. Look at this. So deep tech is nothing but technology that is so advanced. That's it. Technology that is so advanced. That is the reason why ChatGPT was not there before 2022. And after ChatGPT, so many AI tools have come into the market. You must be aware of that. Am I clear? So that is the deep technology, so advanced technology, and this will increase further and further. It needs science, engineering, and years of research and development to build not just an app or website. If it is an app, you are creating like this. Website, you are creating like this. Is that okay? By using certain AI tools, today you are in a position to create these websites or apps. But in order to create that deep technology, you require lots of research and development. And through this policy, India is going ahead. Look at this. Imagine India where we have our own Indian made microchips power every mobile. Today, every Indian has got a mobile. Those mobiles have got microchips. Are the microchips are ours? No, we are importing those microchips. But India wants to have our own microchips. That is possible through deep tech. Similarly, Indian AIs, artificial intelligence, competing with other nations, America and China. Quantum computers breaking through toughest codes. Indian biotech curing diseases. Indian drones dominate global markets. Indian defense technology becomes a world standard. Clear? This is the India that the National Deep Technology Startup Policy wants to create. Very, 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 very important one. Once we have this policy effectively and thoroughly, India will be in a position to create all these things and we compete with the best of the countries in the world and we may go beyond those countries. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important one. Next, this policy is like giving Indian innovators a rocket engine, right? It supports AI startups, quantum computing startups, semiconductor startups, space technology startups. Please note down all the points. Drone and robotic startups, biotech and genetic startup, defense deep technology, very, 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 very important one. Right? What's happening? Look at this. Earlier, startups were making apps. Now, India wants startups to make technology. India wants our startups to make technology that change the world. Very, 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 very important. That is the reason why Indian competitiveness is at the higher level, at the global level. Am I clear? Very, very important one. Now look at this. For prelims, so this policy, right? For the preliminary point of view, for example, for some, examinations, you will have only preliminary examination, meaning only objective type of exam. You don't have to write any mains. But for exams like, UPSC or State Public Service Commissions, you have both the prelims as well as the mains. Clear? So the points that I am showing to you are for preliminary compulsorily, and without understanding these points, you cannot write the mains answer. Right? That is the reason why follow every point very clearly and carefully. Right? So this particular policy is released by DPIIT. But what is DPIIT? You have to know. D stands for department, first of all. Is that okay? And whenever I say department, that department functions under a ministry, right? So you have to know when the policy comes into the picture, which department is implementing it, and what is that a department and under which ministry that particular department is functioning. When it comes to this deep tech policy, this is by DPIIT. What is this? Department for Promotion of Industrial and Internal Trade. This functions under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Very, 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 very important one. And it will support strategic sectors like AI and quantum computing, semiconductors, space, every area what we have discussed, they will be supported by this particular department, and this department is functioning under ministry. What is a ministry? We came to know just now. For prelims, you have to remember every point, my dear friends. Is that clear? Look at this. Similarly, defense areas, R&D funding, research and development funding, startup research lab collaboration, easier patents, public procurement support, cyber security and data protection linked with Startup India Mission, Digital India, India Semiconductor Mission, National Quantum Mission. Please make note of all these. Very, 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 very important. Right? While reading the newspaper or a magazine, right? Or while listening to class anywhere, you will come across with all this. And you should have a clarity on this. What is Digital India? What is Startup India Mission? You must be knowing very, 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 very clearly and thoroughly. Right? So when it comes to main examination, why is deep technology important for India? Is that okay? Reduces dependence on China. It will make India a global R&D hub. Strengthens national security. It will boost economy through innovations. It will help India in semiconductors and AI race. Builds a high quality job support. Atmanirbhar Bharat in true sense. Very, very, very important. What is the Atmanirbhar Bharat? Developed India. Is that okay? So this, this is possible. You know, Atmanirbhar means, this is the self-reliant, right? Once you are self-reliant, you can be, you know, you can be a developed nation over a period of time. That is a Vikasit Bharat. India has a target to become Vikasit Bharat by the year 2047. Very, very, very important one. And if you want to achieve that Vikasit Bharat, this Atmanirbhar Bharat is very important. Atmanirbhar means self-reliant, self-reliant. We are not depending on any country. We are depending on ourselves. Rather, once we start manufacturing, then we are in a position to export to other countries. Clear? That is the Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? And in the examination, if you write these points, your answer will be unbeatable. Is that okay? Look at this. Now, right? This policy is not about creating any new Facebook or Google or WhatsApp. No. We are going to create next ISRO, DRDO, NVIDIA, and SpaceX from the Indian soil. This is India's big, big, big dream. That is the reason why this particular policy is really, really important. Look at the preliminary question. The National Deep Tech Startup Policy primarily aims to support which sectors? A, B, C, D. What is the answer? Type the answer in the comment box. That's it. This is the answer. Right? If India masters deep technology, what happens? Then India will not follow the world. India will lead the world. Very, very, very important. These are the points that you must write in the main examination to make your answer very dynamic. Your answer has to be very dynamic. Clear? And that dynamism will come. You show the strength of India. India started. India is going forward. And India is going to do so many things. India is not following the world, but India is making the world to follow India. That is the beauty of our, the various policies. Am I clear? So these are the words that you are expected to write in the main examination. And the next topic is the National Tiger Census Report. Tiger. Recollect everything. Project Tiger. You must be aware of this. This is our national animal. This is our national pride. If you look at the world, there are so many tigers. Out of the total tigers that are present in the world, more than 70% are present in India. Is that okay? Again, don't just read. Like, what is how many tigers are there? Who will conduct the census, right, of the tigers? Right. So don't just stop over there. Let's get into the details. I'll show you how you will get into the details. I'll give you everything on this one. This is a National Tiger Census Report. Look at this. This is not just about the animals. We are not just talking about the animal, and we don't feel, we don't look at the tiger as an animal, but we look at the tiger as India's pride, India's power, India's global leadership. How? Now we'll understand. Look at this. When the world counts tigers, they look towards India because India is the tiger capital of the planet. Tiger capital of the earth. Very, 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 very important. Tiger capital means If you look at the entire world, you have thousands of tigers. Out of that, more than 70% are in India. Look at this. Look at this. So when you conduct, tiger census, India is checking the heartbeat of its jungles. What do you mean by this? I'll tell you now. Look at this. Look at this. If you look at the world, there are so many tigers. More than 70 or 75% is present in India. This is not a statistic. This is not a statistic, but this is a global responsibility carried by India. In the environment class, you might have learned that, why we need to protect our plants and animals. Plant species and animal species. Many are getting endangered, many are, got, extinct also. But the existing ones we have to protect, we have to conserve. That is the reason why India launched Project Tiger. India is conserving, India is protecting, India is maintaining tiger reserves. Recently also, you must have come across with, what exactly the Goa state is doing, what exactly the government, are talking about. Right? You have to follow all these things. Look at this, but understand this is not just a statistics. It's a global responsibility carried by India. That is the reason why when we talk about India, world, when we talk about the tigers, world look towards, India. Right? Look at this. So the new National Tiger Census tells us we conduct, people census. We also conduct a tigers census. We would like to know how many tigers are there in India. We would like to know how many tigers are there in each state. We would like to know how many tigers are there in each, tiger reserve. But why? See here, tiger numbers are rising steadily, increasing. This is what we came to know. Madhya Pradesh has the highest tiger population, followed by Karnataka and Uttarakhand. India's protected areas are performing well. We are protecting certain areas where there is a tiger population. We are protecting those areas. Right? So, as the population is increasing, it means India is maintaining really well. Poaching has dropped significantly. Poaching has dropped significantly. Community involvement is working. Kindly remember forever. Every program, every policy will be successful only when the people are participating voluntarily in that one. Clear? So community involvement is nothing but, the people are, given instructions. All right. So how to protect tigers, how to protect those areas. So what should be done if the tigers are entering into your community? Clear? So that is the reason why community involvement is working. That is the reason why the tiger population is increasing. So this is a huge conservation success, not just for India, but for the world. How for the world? Let's see now. Right? And how do you count the tigers? First of all, if you are counting, the human beings, you can ask the human beings to stand here. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you ask tigers to come and stand in a queue so that it will count you 1, 2, 3, 4? No. Right? But how do you count? Look at this. Camera traps, statistical modeling, footprint analysis, DNA sampling, forest beat surveys, landscape mowing. Right? Landscape mapping. It's India's world's largest wildlife survey. No country does conservation like India. So this is how India counts its tiger population. Now for the preliminary examination, what you should know, my dear friends, tiger census. Who will conduct the tiger census? Conducted by NTCA. They may ask you, what is NTCA? National Tiger Conservation Authority. How about the project Tiger when it was launched? Launched in the year 1973. When it comes to tiger reserves created under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, important one. 72 is important, 73 is important, Project Tiger is important, NTCA is also important, right? And when it comes to, you must be aware of this. India's first tiger reserve, right? It was in the year 1973 and it is Jim Corbett. Where is it? It is in Uttarakhand. In the preliminary examination, they will give you Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. In 1973, it was Uttar Pradesh only. But in the year 2000, Uttar Pradesh has been bifurcated and we have created another state called Uttaranchal over a period of time that has been renamed as Uttarakhand. So today I can say Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve is located in Uttarakhand. Is that okay? If you know all these points, fine. Otherwise, please note down every point. Next. So when it comes to the main examination, they will ask you like this. Tiger conservation in India is a global success story. Discuss. Tiger conservation in India is a global success story. How it can be global success story? I'll tell you. You have to discuss. So here you should highlight Project Tiger of 1973. What is the role of NTCA? Anti-poaching measures taken by the government. Community participation with respect to protecting our tigers. Use of technology, tiger corridors, eco-sensitive zones. All this you have to mention. You should also mention the challenges. Habitat loss, climate change, how these are affecting the tiger population, you have to mention. And what is the way forward? Landscape conservation. Is that okay? And with these points, your answer will become extraordinary answers. And if you write these points, you will be getting, wonderful marks. And like this, for every question, you need to write certain points, related and relevant points to suit that particular question. Then only you will be given the marks and will be practicing all. Is that okay? If you look at, some important points for you. A country that protects its tigers is protecting forest. If you are protecting a tiger, you are protecting your forest. A country that is protecting forest is protecting the rivers. Look at the link. This is really very important for your examination. If you are protecting a tiger means you are protecting a forest. If you are protecting a forest means you are protecting the river. Yes. Similarly, a country that is protecting its rivers is protecting its future. Do you appreciate this? Very, very, very important, my dear friends. This is how you need to write your answers. Am I clear? Protecting the tiger is nothing but protecting the forest. Protecting the forest is nothing but protecting the rivers. Protecting rivers is nothing but protecting the future. Very, very, very important. Is that okay? Now, look at the MCQ. Which body conducts the National Tiger Census? You know the answer. Type the answer in the comment box. Clear? Shall we go ahead? That's it. This is the answer. Right? So when India saves a tiger, the world learns how to save a species. Meaning with lots of care, we are protecting the tigers. Yes. When India protects its forest, the world learns how to protect the planet. I told you the link. Protecting tiger, protecting forest, protecting rivers, protecting the future. Am I clear? So let's look at the last topic for today. That is COP30. Right? What is COP? Conference of Parties. Whenever you come, 30 is the number. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 30. So COP means Conference of Parties. So this is the 30th conference, right? This is related to climate change, right? We speak so much about climate change, global warming, environmental imbalances, right? And entire world is suffering because of this. And that is the reason why at COP Conference of Parties, countries will come together, 197 countries will come together, and they discuss about how to protect our planet, right? If we neglect the environment, it is non-negotiable. And the nature will retaliate. Nature will retaliate. Please remember this one. Is that okay? And we are already facing it. What is the season? What are the temperatures? And how are the temperatures during summers? Of course, during other times also. And what are these floods that are occurring? All this is because of the climate change. But how to protect this? So we damage, entire world has damaged the environment. Now we are trying to rebuild it. But that requires lots of funds. How many countries can fund it? That is the reason why entire globe is coming together on the name of COP and fighting together, struggling together, working together to build back. Not at all easy, very difficult, but not impossible, right? But what is this? November 10th to 21st, 2025 for preliminary examination. COP30 was held in Brazil. It's a place called Belém. It was held between November 10th and 21st in 2025. This is the latest one for your examination. Clear? Let's get into the details. What happens here? It will discuss about how much hot your city will be in 2030, how many cyclones India will face, whether India becomes a climate leader or not. Is that okay? See, for example, if you look at this one, deliberately I have given this note, how the UPSC sets your GS3, because environment is a part of your GS3 paper in main examination. This is not just environment news. Please know about this. When I'm mentioning about COP, when I'm mentioning about climate change, when I'm mentioning about global warming, it may not be just about environment news. This is about the future of the entire planet. Don't restrict yourself only to India. Don't restrict yourself only to the subject syllabus of environment. No. Think broadly, and this is related to the future of not just India, but the entire planet Earth. This is a very, very, very significant one. You have to remember this. What happened? In Brazil, many countries have come together. Temperatures are rising, emotions are rising, negotiations are intense, and every country is fighting for the survival of the earth. Is that okay? And the answer is the COP. Look at this. So, COP is crucial because the world is not on track to meet the Paris target. What is Paris Agreement 2015 to control the these temperatures. For that, what each country has to do. Unfortunately, so these targets are not being met. What should be done? Meet every year and discuss in COP. Global warming is crossing dangerous levels. Yes or no? Yes. Developing nations demand climate, right? Fossil fuel phase out debates are heating up, right? In future, what is going to happen? These are diesel, petrol, or these are going to be phased out, right? We'll be depending more on green energy, right? India needs a bigger voice in climate negotiations. In short, COP30 is where promises must turn into action. No more dramas, no more speeches. It's time for real decisions. How long these dramas will continue? How long will you keep on giving the speeches for protecting the planet? No. This is the time for actions. But there are some constraints, right? and the biggest constraint is the finances. That is the reason why all the countries are coming together, and these countries are giving, their advices for protecting our planet. Look at this. So when it comes to the COP, it stands for Conference of Parties. This is a part of the UNFCCC. It stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So this is a global treaty that keeps all the nations together on climate action. Even the Paris Agreement is also under UNFCCC. Remember this, very important one. So for the preliminary examination, you have to remember this one. Where COP30 was held, it was held in Brazil, Belem, I told you, right? 28 was in UAE, 29 was in Azerbaijan. This may not be a question, you can forget about this, but try to remember this, and also this one, right? When it comes to UNFCCC headquarters is in Bonn, that is in Germany. Paris Agreement year 2015. What is the target? Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. All these points are important for the preliminary examination. And India's NDCs, you have to remember what is this NDC. Is that okay? Nationally determined contributions, right? At the global level, you are deciding something. But at the national level, you are determining certain contributions. So what India has to contribute for the protection of the planet? Clear? Reducing emissions intensity, increase non-fossil energy capacity. That's the reason why India is going more for solar energy and other alternative sources of energy. Create carbon sinks, right? Please write down this one. Deliberately have given this one for you. Please write down this, all these things. It is creating carbon sinks, right? So when it comes to the main examination, this may be a possible question. Discuss the significance of COP30 for global climate justice. I told you have to write certain points. What are those? Responsibility versus capacity debate, climate finance for developing nations, loss and damage fund, technology transfer, carbon market mechanisms, India's leadership role, global renewable energy transition, accountability for of the developed nations, equity and CBDR. You have to know what is this. Common but differentiated responsibilities principles. You have to write all the points in the examination. Is that okay? For example, see here, I have just given like this one. This is a planet. If a person is suffering from fever, high fever is there, and you are trying to control the fever. Is it important to save the life of the person? Or is it important to think about, this is costing so much, who should pay the hospital bills? Saving the life is very important, irrespective of the cost. In the similar manner, when it comes to global warming, the planet is burning. But the countries are still at the negotiation stage of discussing about the funds. This has to be addressed. Is that okay? India entered COP30 not as a spectator. India has got its own NDC targets, I told you, nationally determined contributions. India has launched ISA, International Solar Alliance. India champions life movement. What is life? Lifestyle for environment. India demands climate justice for global south. This is where India's voice will be strongest. India is not maintaining silence. India is not just a spectator. India is contributing a lot in actions. This is how India is leading the world. Is that okay? Right? If the world fails, climate will not wait. Right? You are discussing, dramas are going on, speeches are going on, but the climate will not wait. Nature does not negotiate, nature will retaliate, and it will be a huge loss to the planet. So this time, India will not silently sitting, but India will lead. That is the beauty of India. And this is the, MCQ, multiple choice question. COP30 was held. I'll just make a change. COP30 was held in which country? Write down the answer. Type the answer in the comment box, right? And you know the answer. And so when it comes to, climate conferences are not about documents. How many times you keep in documents? They are about the lives of the future generations. When we are facing so many problems now, what happens to future generations? If we don't protect the planet Earth now, the future generations will be looking at horrible, horrible times. Is that okay? Please note, I have given. As UPSC aspirants, you must understand this better than anyone else. I told you, in the beginning only, if it's a common person, the common person will be reading and forgetting the things. But you are not like that, right? You are preparing for top level examinations. So you have to understand better than anyone else. So once you get into the service, you will be elevated, right? And you are not supposed to think like a common man. So you should be thinking like, administrator. That thinking pattern you have to start from now itself. Okay. So this is about, today's current affairs, and I'll see you tomorrow. Once again, I tell you all that please follow our current affairs very regularly. And these are all very, very, very important topics we are discussing and will continue to discuss, and share all these with your friends and all the people who are, preparing for various competitive examinations, and also for those people who wants to, develop, generate awareness regarding various topics. For everyone, this will be very, very useful. And thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Take very good care. Thank you.